Wilkins in the pistol, fakes the handoff to Benjamin. Long throw downfield, looking for Darby. Caught for a touchdown. Arizona State takes the lead.
ASU looking to finish their drive strong. Here's Wilkins from the shotgun. Finds a man in the middle. That's Kyle Williams. Open touchdown Devils. They extend their lead for Williams' first touchdown of the year.
Manny Wilkins hands the ball off to the right side. Benjamin bounces off a tackle into the end zone. Touchdown ASU. Hey, what's happening, y'all? And happy Friday. We have your weekly dose of ASU football coming right at you. But before we dive in, Blaine, you were at the ASU USC game at LA Memorial Coliseum. What stood out to you most about this past game?
I mean, besides the highlight reel that N'Keal Harry put on for everybody in attendance, it was really the team camaraderie of the Sun Devils, the first road win of 2018. And well, I think that with them coming together as a team, that's what put them over the edge.
Yeah, and there are plenty of highlights from that game. And speaking of the highlights, let's get right into it. Arizona State taking on USC in the City of Angels as Manny Wilkins and company try to earn their first win on the road in 2018. We kick things off with Tyler Vaughns taking this punt 82 yards to the crib. And you're going to see here the Troy faithful are jacked up about this one. Now we go to Manny Wilkins looking down the field, and he finds his number one intended target, N'Keal Harry, for a 44-yard touchdown connection. You're going to see a lot of him in the show. And hey, Sparky, go all the way down on those push-ups. Third-string quarterback Jack Spears finds Michael Pittman Jr. in the back of the end zone for a 6-yard touchdown pass to cut into the ASU lead. ASU up 24-14 at the half, but USC, they're not down and out just yet as the Sons of Troy come out with a few tricks up their sleeve as wide receiver Michael Pittman Jr. finds Tyler Vaughns in the back of the end zone to make it an 28-24 USC lead. USC are jacked up about that one as well, but ASU, they've got a couple tricks up their sleeve as the man, the myth, the legend, N'Keal Harry takes this punt 92 yards to the end zone, reservation for 6. Devils make it a 31-28 lead. Devils get a huge stop on defense on a 4th and 1, and this is just the play of the game. It was on SportsCenter. This is possibly the catch of the year. N'Keal Harry making this spectacular catch, and we see Manny Wilkins here. He fakes out our cameraman, takes this one all the way to the end zone, seals the deal to make it a 35-38 victory for ASU. First win on the road for ASU in the Herm era. And now we bring in our guest analyst, Jordan Palacio, to talk about ASU versus USC. But before we get into it, Jordan, you're not dressed like Quavo this week.
No, amigos. That was a special. That was a special for House of Spooky. Now we're past that. We're back to more traditional.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jordan, we got an interesting play here with N'Keal Harry. What's on tap?
Yeah, we have a few interesting plays. His game against USC showed why he is one of the best receivers in the country. Here, this is Arizona State's first touchdown of the game. You see, first of all, Manny Wilkins, a clean pocket. That's something that most quarterbacks in the country will take advantage of. And you see here, N'Keal, no safety help. He's going to eat that up every single day of the week. Simple pitch and catch. And N'Keal makes the grab. This is another angle from our own Scotty Gange. I mean, that's easy as you like it right there if you're Arizona State. Now, here's his punt return that really changed the game. And here, he gets a few key blocks, like, first of all, from Dasmond Tatalatasi right there. And N'Keal, another block right here. Watch out, pancake. He didn't see that one coming. Double team block right here. N'Keal has all this and more on the sideline. And you see right here, here's 75. I don't know who that is, but I guarantee you no 75 in the country is going to catch N'Keal Harry. I don't care what team. Here's another look at it right here. Blocks are coming in left and right. It's like a Michael Bay movie scene. Woo! Explosions all over the place. N'Keal Harry, practically untouched, goes into the end zone, and you see him streaking down the sideline. Now, Austin, this somehow wasn't his most impressive play of the game.
No, yeah, and he pretty much turned that one into a track meet, but this next play,
unreal.
It's just not even fair.
Yes. Now, we all know what we're talking about here with N'Keal Harry's catch. It was the play of the week, probably the catch of the year, and we're going to take a look at it in just a few moments. But, I mean, this was the talk of the town. Here it is right here. First of all, man coverage up top. N'Keal's up at the top of the screen. And Manny, a little bit underthrown. Are you serious?
Get out of here.
What are you going to do about that if you're USC? First of all, he gets held. He's completely parallel to the ground, brings it in with one hand.
You just can't teach that stuff.
You cannot teach that. He said that it was all God. That's what N'Keal Harry said about that
he tweeted
play.
that, yeah.
Now here the comparison is obviously Odell Beckham Jr. Who do you got? Who's better? What do you think?
For me, OBJ, he really got interfered with pretty bad. Now, I know N'Keal did too, but, OBJ's getting paid to do it.
He is getting paid to make those catches. That was the play of the year, probably the play of N'Keal's career.
Oh, absolutely.
And he showed, that's kind of just a microcosm of what that game was for N'Keal. He showed why he is real deal N'Keal.
Yeah, and the thing is, Herm said this too in the Monday press conferences. These players, his teammates, they're expecting him to make this play.
Yeah.
So when he did make that catch, they're like, it's a normal day at the
office.
Just a normal day at the office.
Yeah, no bigs.
Yeah,
exactly.
Well, thank you always, Jordan, for coming on, and we're going to toss it back over to Blaine at the desk.
All right, folks, spoiler alert. I'm going to talk about N'Keal Harry. Now, you just saw how good he was from what Jordan just showed you, but physically think about that catch. The fact that Harry had to lunge backwards off of one leg towards the sideline, extend his right arm out to the point where his elbow locks, touches the ball, and wraps his hand and wrist around it and hauls it in for the catch and a Sun Devil first down. Everyone's jaw dropped, including mine, when that happened, and the voice of the Sun Devils, Tim Healy, well, I think he summed it up pretty well.
And here comes the blitz. Devils pick it up, and throwing deep is Manny trying to get N'Keal. What a catch by N'Keal Harry! What a catch by N'Keal Harry at the 38-yard line! I have no words to describe that catch by N'Keal Harry. I'm speechless. I'm without speech.
Good Seinfeld reference in there too, Tim. Appreciate that. Think about the size of a football. 28 inches in diameter at the long point and 21 inches at the short point. Now, this catch has been compared to Odell Beckham Jr.'s masterpiece back in 2015, and OBJ's hands are about 10 inches long. To put that into perspective, mine are about 6. Yeah, short, I know. So in order to make that catch, N'Keal had to, well, have big hands. It takes a special kind of athlete to do that and a special kind of specimen to be that way as well. He also decided to return a punt for a touchdown and got named Pac-12 Special Teams Player of the Week for it as well. To say the least, he's kind of good. Now here's Austin with, well, another segment dedicated to N'Keal Harry.
We at the house partner with Blaze Radio for the Blaze Radio Call of the Week, and Josh Schaefer was on the call for N'Keal Harry's magical 92-yard punt return for a touchdown. Relive that moment with our Blaze Radio Call of the Week.
Reed Budrovich in punt formation. N'Keal Harry to return, set up at his own 8-yard line. Punt is away. ASU almost got back there. End over end, hauled in by Harry inside the 10, tries to cut it back against the grain. He gets a block. He takes it inside his own 5-yard line, gets a huge block out across the 10 to the 15 to the 20, gets a block down the sideline. There he goes, N'Keal Harry. He's going to do it again. N'Keal Harry down the sideline, 92 yards. Touchdown, Arizona State.
I mean, is there anything that N'Keal Harry can't do? The Sun Devils are back in action for homecoming weekend at Sun Devil Stadium, and our own Scotty Gage and Bo Wilkinson are on the call. Kickoff for that game is at 1 p.m.
All right. We're going to take a break from N'Keal Harry because, well, we have to get this show on the road a little bit.
Yeah, we got to talk about some other things. So.
We're going to dive into pros and cons. I'm negative Nancy. He's also positive Paulie. So my first con, Arizona State. They're going up against Utah, which is one of the toughest teams in college football, the best in the Pac-12 South. And over the last 4 games, the Utes have scored at least 40 points. At least 40. That is some big numbers from the offense. Their defense is rock solid as well. So this is going to be a tough matchup for the Sun Devils, especially with the big yardage plays that they've been giving up this season.
Yeah, this might be a high-scoring game against Utah coming up at Sun Devil Stadium. But my first pro is ASU got their first road win of the season at LA Memorial Coliseum. USC, they were 19-0 under head coach Clay Helton, and this was the first win at USC since the Hail Mary, so a pretty huge win for ASU this weekend.
And there's a lot of talented quarterbacks in the Pac-12. They've had to face off against Steven Montez with Colorado, Jake Browning with Washington. Now the next test, Tyler Huntley of Utah. A mobile guy, can shed tackles like no other. He has a pretty good arm as well. He was featured on our Pac-12 Top Plays of the Week a couple weeks ago. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if he was featured next week with a big play against the Sun Devils.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. But my second pro is going to be that this was a very balanced offense that we saw against USC. And for ASU, Manny Wilkins and N'Keal Harry, they got things going, and Eno Benjamin, he had 185 yards on the ground, and he had 2 touchdowns himself, so very nice job of getting everything balanced on the offensive front.
There was a lot of balance, but N'Keal Harry kind of stole the show. And my point to that is other guys need to step up in big situations. Where's Kyle Williams? Eno Benjamin had a heck of a game. I'm not taking anything away from him, but he has to step up as well. Frank Darby had a long ball that was really perfect right to him, but it came out of his hands. And he normally makes those kind of catches. And Herm mentioned that in the press conference. On the defensive end, Ashari Crosswell, a true freshman, has had a couple of balls come right to him that could be potential huge interceptions, but he's dropped them. Herm mentioned that as well. So the big time playmakers have to step up against the Utes, because I think this might be the most difficult test they've faced this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And my final pro is ASU got back to 500. It was a huge win at the Coliseum. You know, they're still a little bit behind in Pac-12 conference play, but this was a huge win. Absolutely ginormous win for ASU going into conference play. Well, we're going to transition right into around the Pac-12, and what a wacky week it was. You know, Utah stomped the Bruins at Pasadena, and you know, it was the granddaddy of them all. Utah won by a score of 41-10 behind Zach Moss's 211 rushing yards and 3 scores. Wazoo continues to shock the nation as the Cougs defeated Stanford Cardinal by a score of 41-38 as Gardner Minshew played out of his mind, completing 40 of 50 passes for 438 yards, 3 touchdowns on the night.
And the rest of the conference was just flat out chaos. Oregon State snapped a 13-game conference losing streak and also a 22-game away game losing streak with an overtime win over Colorado by a score of 41-34. Then Arizona absolutely stunned Oregon and much of the nation with a 44-15 thumping over the Ducks. That knocked Oregon out of the top 25. And speaking of upsets, Cal, they edged out then 15th ranked Washington 12-10, and Washington now out of the rankings as well. And this has got to be the craziest weekend in Pac-12 play.
And now we bring in our guest analyst, Julian Pottas, to discuss ASU versus Utah. Julian, first welcome in. And the ASU defense, they have quite the task coming ahead of them with the quarterback. Tyler Huntley is one of the most dynamic quarterbacks in the Pac-12 right now. What does ASU defense need to do on Saturday in order to contain him?
So one of the things I've heard about Tyler Huntley is that he is a prolific runner at the quarterback position.
Yes.
That is a given. The way that he runs the football is something that a lot of players in the Pac-12 don't really have, other than Khalil Tate, who hasn't really been producing that much in the Pac-12 this year. But the point is, they have to be able to focus on the way that he runs the ball, because that is going to be the key in being able to shut down the offense first and foremost. He's improving as a passer, which is a huge threat to ASU, and another thing that they have to watch out for, because if he gets hot throwing the ball and getting those completions, then the rest of the Utes team is going to feed off of that energy, and they're going to be able to use that as an advantage, a stepping stone over Arizona State's defense. So that's something that they have to watch out for sure.
Yeah, and Julian, the Utah Utes, they sit atop of the Pac-12 South, and ASU, they're tied for last in the Pac-12 South. So what does this game mean for ASU heading into Saturday, heading into conference play, and maybe into a bowl game?
All right, well, if I'm looking at the Pac-12, I obviously see that Utah is the better statistical team. So they're sitting at 6-2, ASU is sitting at 4-4, but they're 2-3 in the Pac-12 conference. Meanwhile, Utah is 4-2. So they're performing a lot better against their competitors. But I'm looking at this game. This is a stepping stone. This is if they have the opportunity to be able to take this game and go for it, then they definitely should. This is an opportunity for them to stand out among the Pac-12 as a dark horse contender, we'll say. They're the underdogs in this situation, and they are set in a position to be able to take forward a winning record as well. They're able to go into a winning record going into this game. So their mindset is set. They want to be able to go out, win this game, and move forward with their season. That way they can get better, and that's just period blank. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, N'Keal Harry and Manny Wilkins, they hooked up for the first time in a long time last week over at LA Memorial Coliseum. What does this ASU offense need to do, whether it be with Eno Benjamin or, you know, N'Keal or Kyle Williams? What do they need to do in order to put up a lot of points next weekend or this coming weekend?
Yeah, let's say this. If I'm Manny Wilkins and I'm looking at my offense, I'm definitely thinking, okay, N'Keal Harry and Benjamin are my go-to guys. Those are the guys that are going to be able to help me produce as a quarterback and be able to move our offense forward in the course of a football game. So I'm thinking, get to your targets early and often. Make sure that you throw the ball as often as you can. Look for those easy targets, because if you're able to do that, then you're going to be able to progress through the game a lot smoother than looking for those bombs, because that's only going to put you back. That's not going to progress you in any way. So the advice that I want to give to the Sun Devils right now is being able to throw the ball early and often, run it the best way that you possibly can, and try to get those opportunities in the red zone when you can.
Absolutely, and good stuff as always, Julian. Now we're going to toss it over to Blaine McCormick for our feel-good story of the week.
Social media is a wonderful thing sometimes. Often you'll see fun factoids or random statistics being posted about the game, and the videos, well, there's a ton of them. But one that stood out was when Herm Edwards went up to USC's quarterback Jack Sears after the game and complimented him on his play. It was Sears' first start for the Trojans. Adam Maya of Rivals USC posted a short video on Twitter and said that Herm stated, "You played your tail off, young man. You played your tail off." That tweet was a hit with over 1,000 likes and over 200 retweets, because a lot of people may be surprised that Herm would do that. To be fair, that's just Herm. A week ago, Edwards asked a reporter about his wrist being in a cast during a press conference. Did he have to? No, but he did. Did Herm have to go up to Sears and compliment him on his play style? No, but he did. And in a time where coaches make social media bursting when they have a bad outburst of their bad takes, or calling a school stupid, or even a reporter out on something that they're talking about, it's nice to see Herm reach out and compliment his opponents. It's a simple gesture that goes a long way. And that's why Herm Edwards is our feel-good story of the week. Taking a look at our Pac-12 top plays of the week, here's Oregon State's Isaiah Hodgins. One-handed catch for the touchdown against Colorado. And you got to see this one more time from a different angle. The ball's coming in, bounces off of his hand initially, and then cradles it like a baby in the end zone. Oregon State taking down the Buffaloes 41-34 in Boulder. Quite the game.
Yeah, crazy comeback victory for Oregon State. And we're going to see this play that we've seen so many times. N'Keal Harry, he is not human. He gets a few blocks around the outside, and he takes this one 92 yards to the house. Incredible performance in LA by N'Keal Harry.
And we're going to stick with N'Keal Harry. We all know what's coming. One-handed catch by N'Keal over on the sideline, making OBJ look like he's second on the depth chart. N'Keal Harry is a god. 38-35 Arizona State, stealing the #1 spot on our Pac-12 top plays and #1 in our hearts. Okay, we can pretty much just call this the N'Keal Harry show, because he's pretty much gotten all of our airtime today.
Yeah, it pretty much was. I mean, he had 2 Sports Center-like plays, and how can you not feature him with this fantastic performance like he had?
But also, Isaiah Hodgins, what a catch.
Incredible catch. I mean, I don't know what was more impressive, the catch or the fact that Oregon State came back so many points in so little time. I mean, they get their first Pac-12 win of the year and a fantastic win on the road.
A crazy game against Colorado, but you know what else is crazy? We're all out of time here on the house. Hate to break it to you folks, but want to thank you all for tuning in for today's episode. Make sure to catch Arizona State taking on Utah. It's a day game this weekend. Kickoff is at 1 o'clock. For our producer, Noah Lau, I'm Blaine McCormick, and for my anchor partner, Austin Burnett, thank you so much for tuning in on The House. Sun Devils taking on the Utes.